and welcome to the Joel Wolfe Podcast. Join Joel Wolfe as she recounts her adventures in parenting, reveals her hard-won secrets to a strong marriage, and confides how we can all grow closer to God. You'll cheer at her victories, laugh at her calamities, and most of all, come away with the tools to tame the chaos in your own home with the courage to live life to its fullest, just the way God intended. Don't miss a single episode because life's better here.
Okay, but anyway, so this is not necessarily going to be a comprehensive and all of that kind of thing, but we're gonna do some stuff here over the next 2 days, and hopefully you're gonna learn some things. Some of the stuff we talk about, you're gonna be like, yeah, I got that one. But some of the stuff you're gonna be going, oh my. And then some other stuff you're gonna be going, I knew that, but I've not been doing that. So hopefully this is going to be a really, really good time, and I'm really hoping that you get to know each other, and we can all commiserate. We feel each other's pain, right? And I figure if we all come together and unite, we can win. Amen? All right. So my name is Joel, once again, and I'm one of the pastors here at the church. I am not a PhD in child raising, but I am a mother of 4. And so I was just, for those of you, raise your hand if you are from New Horizon here at this church. Okay? So raise your hand if you are just, from the community. Maybe you heard about us from the Puyallup School District or the 5 School District. Yeah, we got a few of those. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background as far as I'm concerned, and then we're going to dive right in. Once again, my name is Joel, and I am an RN. Actually, I'm a wife, I'm an RN, I am a pastor, I'm a mother of 4. What else am I, people? I don't know. Busy. I am very busy. My children, I have 4 of them. Once again, my oldest is 27. She's my daughter. She graduated from UW with a poli-sci degree, and she's working downtown as an administrative assistant to Fierce, which is a huge company downtown in Seattle. She's also the worship leader here. She's awesome. And then I have a 25-year-old son who just graduated from Wazoo as a chemical engineer, and he's working in Boise. And he is independent. Somebody say hallelujah. Got 2 of them. And then my 3rd son is actually at Wazoo. He's attending, he's studying mechanical engineering, and he's a junior over there, so we're really believing that things are going to go well for him. And then my 4th is my little caboose. I have a junior at Puyallup High School. Go Vikings! Okay, maybe not. So that's kind of my scoop. And if you look at my kids and I tell you all that story, you might think that I'm pretty amazing. And that, it was pretty easy. And that, they're all perfect, and we had a really perfect go at it. But I just, I want to let you know that I raised probably 4 of the most strong-willed children on the planet. You might not believe me, but it is absolutely true. All of them had colic. Anybody had a kid with colic? You know what I'm talking about. Why did I keep having them? I don't know. But every single one of them, we've had more than one policeman at my front door. Anybody had a policeman come to your door? Yeah, like, are you the mother of... And what do you say at that point? No, I have never known that child. I don't know. I've also picked one up at Raymond Hall. Some of you guys might not. I'm not telling you who, but I have. Life has not always been easy at the Wolfe House. It has not. So when I tell you the story about how they're doing so awesome, it has been a journey. Somebody look at their neighbor and say, journey. Absolutely been a journey. We've dealt with medical issues. Some of you sitting here have got children that have medical issues, and that presents a whole nother thing. My son Austin had 3 surgeries on his hands before he turned 1. And he's also now going through, he was diagnosed with keratoconus, and so he's had 1 corneal transplant last year. He has another one coming up this year. So I get the medical thing. I get going to the hospital. I get having children who have the medical issues. It's not fun. It's not easy. I've gone through 4 driving first years. Anybody know what I'm talking about out there? 4 of them. I've done it 4 times. You get that kind of nervous twitch when they start getting back behind that wheel. We've had 7 wrecks. 7 wrecks. We've had an average of about 9 cars parked out in our driveway on my insurance. Okay. I've been the working mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom. We've done the private school scene. We've done the public school scene. I have not, however, done the homeschooling scene. So that's one thing I probably won't try. I only have 1 more year, and I don't think I'll do that. I've had a top-of-the-class overachiever. I've had one in remedial reading. I won't tell you which one. Boy, was that a shock. I'm telling you, I did so good with my your first little baby, they can count at the age of 8 months, right? And they can read by 12 months. That's your firstborn, right? Then, as children come and you're not quite as intense with them, I won't tell you which one, but my last one went to first grade, and I got a letter home that first week saying, the kid needs remedial reading. He needs to go to the reading class. I'm like, what have I done? I failed. So, my little guy, he had to, pick up his little books and, at 9 a.m. while everybody else is doing, he had to go down and read with Mrs. Fisher. Yeah, that would be my children. So, I've been through a lot. In fact, I've had one at one time, speaking of the education, I could tell you about how amazing they are right now, but I had one. I got a phone call in October. It was the end of October from a concerned teacher. And of course, you want to let your kids kind of try things and not always be micromanaging. I got a phone call, and I had given him a time frame. I said him, so it's one of the 3. I gave him a time frame that he could run his life, and then I was going to check online, and depending on where he's at, then I was going to take over his entire life if it wasn't up to par, right? But before that deadline, I get a phone call from the school, and come to find out the child is failing every class, not just one. And English, he's at 6%. How do you have a 6% in a class? Yeah. I was like, what? I am not a laid-back mom. Can you tell? So I've been through that. I've definitely had my challenges. But I am here to say that it can be done. And I've got 4 kids that are doing it and winning. So now for the rest of this time, I don't want you looking at me and saying, well, she had it perfect because she had perfect kids. Parenting is real. And every kid is absolutely amazingly real in their own little special way, right? And so just here tonight, though, I want to just take a quick second and ask each of you, what do you consider successful parenting? Like when the whole thing is over with and they are out and living or graduating from high school, what is successful parenting? What can you use as your barometer for success?
They know they're loved.
They know they're loved. I like that. What else? They haven't run away. I like that. Anyone else?
Learning independence and how to manage money.
Independence and managing money. That is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important in today's age, that's for sure. Anybody else? Is that tonight? Or last Sunday? Or when was that? So the goal would be they would thank you someday, right? Okay, someday they will thank you. Someday. Okay, so what I am going to give you and propose to you that I believe that success in parenting is, and this is on your notebook, if you'll open up to your first little section there, at the very top there, developing responsible adults able to do well in love and in work. Able to do well in love and in work. So love will be relationships, the ability to relate one with another. And I'm going to use another term for that. It's called emotional IQ. We hear so much about intellectual IQ, but what they're finding, more important for our children in their success is not so much, mental IQ, can I pass a test? but it's more emotional IQ. Can I get along with others? Can I make this relationship work? Can I love? Can I have empathy? Can I forgive? Can I get along? Can I compromise? Emotional IQ is actually far more important in the success of your children in their future than intellectual IQ. So raising responsible adults who are successful in love, so that would be that relationship, that would be that emotional IQ, and in work. So work is your child's purpose, destiny, the reason that they're here, the thing that they get up and they go and they do, and their finances. So because if we aren't, financially strong or wise, or, finances are a trouble in our life, how many can say that will destroy a life quickly, right? So that's what we're aiming for. That is the goal. That is it right there. Raising responsible adults able to do well in love and in work. So everything that we're going to do, or, as we're looking at our kids, it's very, very important that you realize that when you parent, you don't parent for right now, this second, I got to survive this moment, but that you parent in such a way that you're always thinking towards the future. So sometimes when we are in a moment, it's really easy to survive the moment. But sometimes the way we survive the moment will actually cost them their future. Does that make sense? So if you walk in their room and it is an absolute disaster and you're like, I've taught, I can just do it myself, right? And so that loving mom just digs in and cleans up the room for the child and walks out. She has solved her momentary problem, right? This terrible, horrible mess. But in reality, what has that taught that child? Somebody's always going to take care of me. I don't have to clean up my messes. Somebody's going to clean up my messes. So in reality, the ease of parenting for that moment is creating a problem down the future. Amen? So we have to be very, very careful that when we parent, it might be a little bit more difficult right now in the decisions that we're making and what I'm going to be teaching you. But I want you to see that right now is producing a better future. And tomorrow and future always lasts a lot longer than that moment, right? So it's really good to parent towards that. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about doing this in such a way, and if you see in the parentheses there, that we want to be able to raise these responsible adults and enjoy it and not break a sweat. Everybody look at each other and say, you can't break a sweat. How many of you broke a sweat today with those children? Okay, yeah, I'm right there with you. The goal is to be able to do this without breaking a sweat. And I'm hoping to give you some cues, some hints, some possibilities here tonight and tomorrow that'll help you to be able to do this and navigate this whole journey without breaking a sweat. In other words, keeping a smile on your face. I don't know about you, but I am telling you what, there have been times where I'm like, mother, don't even come close to me right now. That kind of, anybody there? Okay, thank you very much. We are all in this together. So I remember the birth of my first baby. It was absolutely hilarious. Jasmine, she came into the world, and of course, she was perfect. And it was never, it was going to be so different for us than all of the other 107 billion children that had been born up until that point. And it was going to go really well because she's perfect, and so am I. And I have learned through all of the parenting that I received of everything that should not happen. And anybody in the same thought process, just that? Nobody else had those thought processes when they had their kid, that they were going to, they were going to really do it better than all the others? You're just not admitting it. No, really? Okay. Well, I did. And the moment they put her in my arms, though, I just went nuts. I don't know about you guys. Remember that moment? And I remember looking at her, I started crying, and I said, oh, Jasmine, you're beautiful, and you're perfect, and you're so smart. I'm going to teach you how to cook and sew and knit, and you're going to play for the symphony, and you're going to have straight A's, and it's going to be amazing, and you're going to change the world, and you and me, girl, right? And I'm sure that the nurses watching me felt very sorry for that poor child because she's got a lot of work to do over the next years, right? And so, we went home and we went about our business, and she got to be about 12, 13, 14 months. It went pretty good. I was pretty proud. I always had a bow in her hair, perfectly dressed, great girl. And but we were driving home and from something, and she was in the car seat, actually right next to me in the minivan. That was before they had to be in the back seat. So she's right here. And at least she was in a car seat, right? I never was sat in a car seat. Anybody in here ever sat in a car seat? I never did. Me, personally, no way. Stood on the bench seat next to my mother. And if we came to a stop, she could go like that to save me, right? Okay, so she's sitting in the car seat next to me, and she starts having a fit. And it was the first time I realized, you know what? You're kind of having a fit. This isn't just babiness. You're having a fit. What? And I started sweating, and my blood pressure went up, and I started going, I don't know what to do with that. That wasn't supposed to happen. We were going to be perfect, remember? So I remember getting back to the house, and by the time I'm there, my nerves are just, anybody relate? Okay, so I get out of the car, and I walk around, and I open the door, and I'm vacillating between anger and frustration and fear and all shame that, she's pitching this fit, and everybody, the neighbors are here, and, I didn't know what, I was vacillating. I took her out of the car seat. I didn't know what to do with her. There was, and I will just tell you, there were feelings of, and ideas going through my head that were not good at that point. And I was like, and you don't want to do the thing that you said you would never do, Anybody, come on, help me out. Okay, so I kind of took her, and I went in, and I set her down on the couch a little hard. I think it was a little harder than usual. And I kind of stepped back. And, and I'm not lying. I went into the kitchen and just went, oh, dear Jesus, what do I do? And that moment in time, I realized, I need help. I need help. I have got to get help, because this parenting thing is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Absolutely. When you have a newborn, let me just explain to you what I think a newborn is. And on your sheet there, you're going to see where it says newborn. This is what a newborn looks like. Are you ready? I'm going to do this, Michael. I'm going to use my computer, so can you hook it up? Let's see if this thing will work. I am being technological. And I want your applause when we're all done if it works. Is it going to work? Okay, so this is what a newborn is. Draw this all over your paper like that, underneath newborn. That is your newborn. And a newborn, let me see if I can do this. I hope this works. They're scared. They cry. They're hot. They're cold. They're wet. They're hungry. Right? That is your newborn. They have, I'm going to write these down, if hopefully this pen will work. Oopsie. They have no self-control, right? No self-control. And I'm just going to write SC. No self-control. They have none. Have you ever met an infant that has self-control? Not a one. They have complete, that's an O, control of you. Amen? They are completely in control of you. Anything they do, you're like, right? So they have absolutely zero self-control. They have complete control over you. They have no boundaries. Write down boundaries. We're going to talk a lot about that. And they have no character. Okay? 4 things there. They have no self-control. They are completely in control of you. They have a complete blank character, and they have no boundaries at all. So now I'm going to go to a new page. How's that? Cool. And then we're going to call this the now we're going to talk about the parenting process, okay? So this is your job. Your job now is to take that, which is infant, right? Newborn. And now you are a mom or a parent that is in the midst of this. There you are, and the infant is all over you. This child, this newborn, looks like that. Now your job now is to take that and to start putting boundaries around it. And then hopefully you can encourage them, if I can get this to kind of start living inside their boundaries. And then the next time you start kind of making them live a little bit more inside their boundaries. And you know what? They're kind of starting to take shape now. They're starting to maybe look a little bit more human. And here you are as mama. It keeps changing on me. Here's mom. And she's still putting on more. And then kind of as they grow, you're going to start putting character from the outside, and you're going to be working it in. So you're going to put love. You're going to start talking about love. And you're going to start talking about respect. And you're going to start talking about work. Everybody say work. And truth. Truth. Sorry about the mess. It's kind of hard. It's a big blob there. You're going to start talking about being kind, right? And this is probably, as I look around the room, I don't know your ages of your children, but this is probably what your kids are looking like right now. Would you maybe taking a little bit of shape, but not quite there? So then they're looking a little bit, a little bit more. And so moms and dads throughout, and your parenting process is all about now the process of now bringing in self-control. So increasing self-control, decreasing me control. So you can't control me anymore. Bringing boundaries and teaching them character. Okay? To the point where that wonderful adult child that we were just talking about looks a lot like this. There is a spot on my computer on my screen. Look how cute that adult child is. You like that? Yeah. Now see how well defined this child is? They now have they now have self-control. They are no longer in control of you. They don't have control over you so much anymore. No parent control, PC we'll call that. They now have very defined boundaries, and they are full of character. Okay? So inside of this little boundaried child, this adult child now, is love. That you can actually, that's where the screen goes bad. There's truth. There's work. And as you can see now, the character's on the inside of them. It's no longer on the outside of them. Okay? So our ultimate goal in raising our children is to get them through that process. To take infants, children, 2-year-olds who have no boundaries, that are just all over the place in your world. They have complete control over you and no control over themselves, no boundaries and no character. Your process as you're raising your preschooler, as you're raising your teenager, as you're raising your elementary age child, is to get them to where they begin to take on boundaries. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about boundaries, because boundaries are very, very important. And they begin to take into themselves character and the ability to say and own the concept of love, own the concept of truth, own the concept of hard work, own the concept of empathy, own the concept of respect and honor. That all has to become internal. It can't constantly be external, because they're going to leave you someday. They are going to go away from you, and all of that outward pressure that you have put on them, they have to walk out of that and have it sown deeply inside of them. That's the goal. They have to become entirely self-controlled. And they have to understand that they cannot control others. Now, that is what you would call a very mature adult. And the crazy thing is that, we can talk about it being for them, but in all reality, and I can't go much further, it has to be true for ourselves.
Thanks for joining us today for this episode of the Joel Wolf Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the message. Don't forget to subscribe to receive more great content regularly and visit us online at joelwolf.me, as well as on Facebook at facebook.com/author Joel Wolf. Be sure to check out Joel's latest book, Courage in Chaos, which Dr. Kevin Lehman says inspires both the heart and the head in equal measure. It's available for purchase at her website. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, have a great day.